So basically, say if you're like a small or medium business and you've got like a limited SEO budget and you've not really got the time or money to build authority and get links to your site and get it like ranking on the first page. Because a lot of the times you're competing with maybe like Forbes or Home Advisor or Yelp or whatever, whichever your niche is in. So what you do instead is leverage third party authority sites or user generated content sites now, which Google is favoring to help get your content on those sites and basically take up the search positions instead of other authority sites taking it. So it basically skips that kind of curve and piggybacks off a different domain to get your content ranking.
I'm John Wright, and you're listening to Affiliate BI, the business intelligence and affiliate marketing podcast brought to you by SnapStrap. Welcome to the Affiliate BI podcast. Today we're chatting with James Oliver. He's the founder of Oliver.com, but that's more of his personal brand website. He does SEO, affiliate marketing, and he's the co-founder of Parasite SEO, which means we're going to talk about SEO and link building today. And of course, Parasite SEO. James, welcome to the show. And I just want to get started with can you share your journey into SEO, how you got to where you are today? I'm going to assume that affiliate sites is part of that answer.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, I've done loads of traveling. So basically, digital nomad, traveling around everywhere. And then I left my cozy job in Australia and went around Asia again. And then basically stumbled across SEO and affiliate marketing, basically building my first site out 7 years ago now, and not stopped ever since. So I've like a portfolio around 20 sites. Sold one recently, but basically all I do is just buy and build. And keeping going from there. So main focus is affiliate marketing and SEO, basically all organic traffic.
Touching upon that, you said you buy and build sites. So if you're going to buy a site, what are you looking for? Are you looking for an affiliate site that's like either a fixer upper or something that's trending up or something that you can amplify and add, your SEO experience?
Yeah, a lot of it is definitely just what I can amplify and just basically take it to the next level. Because a lot of sites don't monetize enough. Basically, they leave it for a while and they don't actually find additional programs to promote or courses and stuff like that because generally offer a higher commission. So you can literally just buy a site, stick a new affiliate program on, and 10x the revenue and the value of the site. So that's basically the strategy what I do with buying sites.
Which sounds a bit crazy because you're like, that's an obvious playbook. And I know some friends that they buy sites and they're basically doing that. They're analyzing and going, what networks or programs aren't they working with? Are they not working with Mediavine where they have a better deal with Mediavine? They know they can basically acquire the site and in 6 months, basically recover the money.
Yeah, that's the whole strategy with the whole buying the site. And a lot of the time it's just doing simple tweaks. I don't even do a lot. Maybe a tiny bit of content, internal linking, checking if the top pages are they've got links to them and it's CRO optimized, and just that and some new affiliate programs. And that is basically the 80/20 principle of making your money back.
Yeah. Now, maybe a side topic. Do you think affiliate networks should do stuff like this? Because your traditional affiliate network looks like this. It's one payment method, one affiliate manager. They get you, in theory, better deals than if you were to get them on your own. Or sometimes the only product or services is just available through that network. I think networks are kind of very binary, they're just flat. But do you think maybe there's a marketplace for a new affiliate network that's going to basically say, hey, we're in this together. If you grow, we grow.
Yeah, definitely. With affiliate networks, I do prefer them compared to brand specific networks where they just host it by themselves. Because you have that, you basically you're going to get paid out and you have that security. So I tend to always go for networks, but having that better partnership and with the affiliate manager is a thing which I've missed a lot of times. I never really get that most of the time with most affiliate networks.
All right. So let's get into Parasite SEO. I've got a lot of questions on there. So let's just go right to the basics. For those that don't know, could you explain what Parasite SEO is?
Yeah, sure. So basically, say if you're like a small or medium business and you've got like a limited SEO budget and you've not really got the time or money to build authority and get links to your site and get it like ranking on the first page, because a lot of the times you're competing with maybe like Forbes or Home Advisor or Yelp or whatever, whichever your niche is in. So what you do instead is leverage third party authority sites or user generated content sites now, which Google is favoring to help get your content on those sites and basically take up the search positions instead of other authority sites taking it. So it basically skips that kind of curve and piggybacks off a different domain to get your content ranking.
And of course, I want to know what are the right and wrong ways of doing Parasite SEO, because there's been a lot of chatter about people that have done Parasite SEO and they've been either hit hard or that those parasite networks have actually just kind of fallen off and they're not important anymore.
Yeah, so there's definitely a few ways with this. So one is to aim to get an ROI as soon as possible, because then if a site does go down in 6 months' time, you've already made your money back and you've already made your ROI and capitalized on it. But there's a few things. It's kind of similar to like a niche site. So you want to find good parasites what are already ranking, what the content is doing, and reverse engineer the tactics. That's always one of the best ways. And also, parasites tend to be like high authority sites, so they can rank for a ton of keywords. So you want to try and leverage that as much as possible. So what I like to do equals, and that way you can do a lot of long tails in that article as well. And you're not just going to rank for the main title keyword, but you're going to pick up loads of long tail as well. So you want to try and optimize and basically get as many keywords in there as possible. Some of the wrong ways would be linking from different parasites to other parasites. So say if you got a post on Men's Journal and then one on LinkedIn and your internal link, well, you're linking those across. If something does happen to one, say if it goes down for whatever reason, you're sending back signals to that one parasite which is working. Plus, like your competitors can maybe find that site and reverse engineer all the other parasites what you spent a lot of time doing, and basically copy your network. So they're kind of two kind of big ones. Also, CRO is a lot of things people get wrong. Like you really want to optimize for conversions because with Parasite SEO, these tend to rank really well. So you don't really have to focus too much on the link building aspect side of things, but you do want to focus more on the on page and basically optimizing for conversions because you want to make an ROI. So there are a few things which I basically see a lot of people doing wrong and right.
That sounds insightful because I mean, I don't know too many SEOs or affiliate marketers that actually care about the quality of content they're putting on another platform. Like you just basically said, it's important to optimize it for conversion. And of course, when you do that, my opinion is that you're actually indirectly optimizing for SEO. And I think there's people that they'll either buy links or they'll create articles and they're basically just kind of better than nothing, but they're not really extracting the maximum value.
Yeah, that because that way, like guest posts and stuff like that, people are just doing it for the link. They don't really care about the content. But with Parasite, it's a little bit different because you are trying to rank this content and you do want good content because the whole point is to make money. So if you're helping the user out and getting solving their problem to find a product, you're also getting money in your pocket, which is the whole goal of Parasite, really, in my understanding, my terms.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Times of India is probably the most commonly referenced example of Parasite SEO where I don't even know. It seems like every time I'm on X or Twitter, it's like they're still ranking. Would you say like Times of India is like maybe not the most ideal example of Parasite SEO where you mentioned a site like Men's Journal, and I think there's other sites that they're super authoritative and it's not like they're going to compete in my space. Let's say I'm building an iGaming affiliate site or something in, that relies on the Amazon, marketplace. Would you say it's kind of like good just to have like these are the types of content pieces you want, high quality and on reputable sites that no one even thinks twice and says, no, Men's Journal, that's not Parasite SEO.
Yeah, exactly. Because well, that comes to play into conversions as well because it just looks like an advertorial, just a normal post. So it obviously helps with conversions, but no one really realizes it's just basically a paid guest post. But relevancy does play a big part in it. Like you say, like Outlook India or Times of India or Men's Journal, like each website kind of ranks well for different things, a bit like a niche site. Like you build up authority in one aspect. Like LinkedIn actually does really well in most niches, but generally the tech sort of niche as well, it does well in. And there's like Midday, which does well in like CBD. So you want to find these parasites which do really well in whatever niche you're trying to rank in and then optimize that way. That's the best way to, it basically helps obviously the content rank and it sticks with the brand and it all works well together.
So I think it would probably matter more to like, what is the keyword or phrase you're trying to rank for? So, I mean, a perfect example, here's my situation,
we're trying to rank for casino affiliate programs because we got a software that's targeted for iGaming affiliates, and so we're currently 3 or 4 in America for rankings, and the number one is Business of Apps, and it's a pure Parasite SEO article. It's basically like a top 10 list, but I actually think that's the right article. It's like if someone's looking for casino affiliate programs, the intent is they're kind of expecting a list. So I guess you would suggest that whatever the keyword or the intent is, that's the content piece you match for it.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing with doing like Parasite SEO right, which I didn't touch on before, is when it is a list and you're trying to get as many keywords in as possible, you do want to segment these keywords. So like you do like best casino in America or whatever, but then you'd have like best Bitcoin casino, best casino with legit payouts, or all these extra keywords which you can stuff in the headings. And obviously it helps with conversions and you stuff in more keywords in as well.
Yeah. I guess it's a mixture of, I mean, you can look at it one side as being it's keywords, but on the other side, it's really becoming a more helpful article. Like people that actually
Mm.
care about that list, they genuinely would read what you just wrote. And, you can look at it from both sides of the coin. It's one is SEO optimized, but the other one is it's product user optimized.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I did my niche sites, and a lot of the affiliate content which I did on the niche sites just translates SEO 'cause it's just the same thing, but you're just hosting the content on a third party site, and you can just use more of them rather than just a single domain.
All right. So I always like to try to ask tough questions from like, how does a small startup affiliate kind of get off the ground? Because I mean, usually when we think about SEO, we think about, okay, you need budgets, you need talented SEO people, you need budgets for link building. How would you suggest someone get off the ground to say, okay, what are the low cost parasite SEO tactics that people can make use of?
Yeah, cool. So, like I said before, you want to do multiple domains. So, even if you are doing like a completely paid approach and you have a budget, you still want to be using these three domains because a lot of them are ranking really well. So, you've got LinkedIn, Medium, Reddit, which is getting a little bit tougher, but you can still use that. Quora as well. And then it depends on the niche because there's tons of niche specific forums. Like there's like Steam community, and there's a ton of pet ones which rank for multiple keywords. So it's very niche specific, but you just want to basically do a bit of research. You can use obviously our tool which we made, or just Google and just spend the time looking through and trying to reverse engineer what people are doing.
Now, in terms of trying to get like, these men's journal, I mean, like, what are the ways in which you're getting that? I mean, I've got a friend who is excellent at befriending journalists. Like, is this the route you have to go? Because it's like you need to get the journalist's attention to get them to, read your message and then try to convince them that, hey, you've got an interesting article to talk about.
Well, with these, a lot of them they want the money because they have the fees there, and it is quite just a normal process for them. But you do have to do it tactfully. You can't just go in and just try and just get a guest post. So a lot of the times, what we do is basically say that we're an agency and we're looking to get a piece published for a client, and that way it basically goes across that you're going to buy multiple posts, which they obviously love. Even if you are just going to buy a single one, you just want to pretend you're an agency and do it that way because they're going to think you're going to buy more. And that kind of gets the conversation going, and then they'll come back with the prices, and then you can just negotiate and talk to them. But generally, if you do buy more than one article as well, you are going to get a bigger discount. But you can get one offs, and you just approach it as if you're going to buy a few, basically.
Okay. I'm pretty new to the Parasite SEO tool, so I'm going to ask some dumb questions. Like, I'm assuming that it's both a bit of a marketplace where you could acquire links, but I'm assuming there's maybe a bit of analytics and insights in there. Is there?
Yeah, so we've actually spent a lot of time in our devs pulling his hair out now, trying to get all the categorization and do everything right because we're scraping like I don't even know how many keywords. I think it's in the millions now, but we're pulling all the keywords in, and then obviously the database of parasites to work out all the data and do all the data analytics. It goes above my head. But as for the marketplace side, currently we are just offering the contact details of the person you need to get in touch with to reach out yourself. This is something like what people are requesting because no one really wants to do the outreach and do that. So we are going to implement basically just a click to go for a vendor and go purchase it rather than having to do it yourself. But we currently haven't got that yet.
Okay. But it makes sense to do that work for people because I mean, I think one of the most common pain points in SEO is outreach. And I come
Mm.
from like we're both in the affiliate space, but I work with a lot of affiliate managers, and I'm sure you see this too. It's I think affiliate managers have some of the worst outreach skills in the world. I'm like, go to the SEO space to learn it, but even in SEO, it's still there's still a lot that can be done.
Yeah, definitely. I'm one of those people as well. I hate emailing people and never jump on calls or anything like that. So yeah, it's one of those things which is definitely a pain point for a lot of SEOs and affiliate marketers.
But there's a big difference between you emailing someone and someone who's got less than 2 years experience in SEO. Because if you email me out of the blue and say, "Hey, John, we offer XYZ for services for link building," I'm going to go look you up. I'm going to find that you've got, your own branded domain. You're on LinkedIn with a lot of connections in common. Like you have your own brand authority that you've built up over time by doing like podcasts and things. So, I mean, that's not easy for everyone to just kind of pick up, but you have that.
No, yeah, that is true, and that definitely does help with outreach as well. So just like simple things like an email signature as well, with just a picture of yourself and a bit of information, that goes a long way for to help get the responses as well.
Yeah, I've got no excuse for the email signature part. So that kind of ties into the next one about reputation management. Is that something that you think goes hand in hand with Parasite SEO?
Yeah, so Parasite has SEO is basically viewed a bit more as black hat, but online reputation management's more white hat, but they're more or less the same thing. So it's still leveraging third party domains to take over the SERP as much as possible. And for example, if like an agency has a client come to them with like a bankruptcy filing or something like that, and they want to push that bad press basically out of the SERPs, they're going to use that with third party domains or even a press release, which still leverages newspapers' high authority domains to push that down. Sometimes it is a little bit different though. So, like a lot of the affiliate Parasite domains are going to be different to the ORM Parasite domains because they kind of rank for different things like, like company terms or personal name terms. So, like, it's just exactly the same as trying to find a relevant domain. But yeah, still the same process. And I've seen a lot of these agencies, they charge a lot of money, like 20 to like 25K just for online reputation management as well, which is crazy, especially if you can leverage this and find the right domains to basically get your name out there.
And likely do it even better as well without having to go through these companies where they're probably doing, okay, how do we take that 25K and spend the least amount of money?
Yeah, it's probably one of those free press releases of those spammy little sites, the Fox News. I've seen it before. But yeah, that's basically it. Online reputation management is basically just Parasite SEO, leveraging third party domains to take over as much of the SERP as possible. And you can still use Medium, LinkedIn, and there's a few others like About Me and IMBD, and even like Udemy and stuff like that. There's a few creative ways you can get around and do it.
Yeah, I definitely need to start combining the list. I mean, my way of reverse engineering what that list is basically I follow people like James Dooley and Craig Campbell, and they're always up to
Mm,
tricks of trying to push their their names in higher prominence. So I'm going to take that as a tip. It's like go look at all the SEOs and go where are they mentioned in interesting places. And yeah, Udemy,
yeah,
I haven't thought of that one. IMDb, I see, Craig Campbell's on there. I mean,
Craig. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I need to do it for. Oh, oops, sorry. I was going to say I need to do it for my name as well, but because it's James Oliver, Jamie Oliver literally ranks for everything. So if I ever try and do anything, it's always him. So I'm just not
yeah.
even bothered with my name.
Well, I have the same problem as well because my name is very common. So I work in
Mm,
affiliate marketing and iGaming. In iGaming, there's another person named John Ray, which is frustrating. And I talked to Jason Barnard, um, you know,
yeah,
the land or it's the knowledge panel guy. So he was
that's it.
telling me, he's like, I recommend you change your name or use a different name or your full name with initials. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is a lot of work. But what would you say, like, in terms of how to use parasite SEO in the white hat sense? Like, what would you do for someone who's, let's say, an affiliate startup where there's one or two people behind it as people that are trying to push their own personal brand, but they're also trying to grow a company brand? Would you tend to mix this all up and say, okay, we're going to do one article that's founder focused and just kind of like try a different array of content?
Yeah, so I definitely do founder focused, company focused. And then a lot of people do like guides or white papers and put them in like Evernote and stuff like that. And they don't necessarily link out to their brand, but they mention their brand. And obviously, the more entities and everything getting in Google mentioning your brand, it's going to get picked up by the LLMs and it's going to get picked up by Google. So everything kind of helps with that.
Okay. Now, you mentioned white paper, which is something I thought about doing. So, how would you do that for, let's say, an affiliate site or a SaaS company? Like, what would your strategy be of where would that white paper go, and how would you kind of like, would you do PR or different articles like in prominent sites to try to link towards it as well?
Yeah, so for that, you would kind of want all the PDF kind of sharing sites. So like the Evernote and the Scribed, and you just got to make sure they're indexable. And so I would check all kind of those sharing sites, make sure there is other content like online shareable. And you can even do it with the Google Docs, making that shareable. Uh, and that's kind of how I'd go about it. Link wise, I wouldn't really bother too much, if especially if you're doing white hat. Obviously, if you really want to push stuff, you can just send PBNs to it because PBNs are very cheap and it's not on your domain, so it doesn't really matter. So that's probably the easiest way to like kind of, but fish kind of trying to find as many sites as possible and get that onto as many different entities as possible picked up and crawled.
Okay. And then I've got another question that more relates to affiliates, where every SEO I've been talking to in the past year that I've had on this podcast, I kind of say, what do affiliates need to do when Google's been kind of shaking the space up? It's literally been a whole year in which these updates are constant. And some of the answers I hear from people is that you need to build a better product that, like, are you going to do like 10 PBNs or are you going to focus on one quality site? What's your take on it from what you've seen from both personal experience and other SEOs you talk to?
Yeah, well, it's an absolute pain because I'm mainly in the mattress and sleep niche, and it's not in the US, but my entire SERP's taken over by US sites, and they're not even promoting that country's mattresses or products. So like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So for me, like, there's nothing I can physically do to like outrank Forbes when they're ranking in my niche, even though they're not even that is that country. So far, I've been changing directions a little bit and just leaving it for now and focusing more on YouTube SEO. So I've been sending like the products to a content creator, which I found on Udemy, getting them to do a video review with like ample B-roll. And then I'll publish that video review on my main channel. And then with all the B-roll, I'll get extra voiceovers or AI voiceover people, or AI voiceovers, should I say, and post overs on different channels. So basically, I'm doing the same thing with YouTube because that's all obviously a parasite as well, and just trying to take over as many spaces. And that ranks in Google and obviously YouTube, which is the second biggest search engine. So I've shifted focus a little bit to YouTube more than Google at the moment.
Yeah, and it makes sense because I mean, I think Google's already seen the writing on the wall where, people are using TikTok as the search engine. They're using social
Mm.
signals as part of their search going, do I trust Google anymore to give me the answers or do I trust someone else? And what is YouTube? It's the video that's going to rank is the person talking saying, "Hey, I'm the expert authority." And funny enough, do you actually think a lot of people are still not tapping into YouTube? Like this is like a massive opportunity.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the review space. So a lot of people do more informational kind of personal branding stuff, but for the reviews, it's not really touched on. And if there are reviews there, it's kind of the more of the B-roll sort of AI voiceover or just a voiceover thing. It's not really someone actually showing the product and doing it. So there's huge potential there. And to be honest with you, that's kind of because I did that just before as well, getting the updates. And that's kind of kept my revenue steady just because I've had YouTube ranking the whole time still.
I've been using YouTube a little bit. I'm kind of too lazy to get bothered with TikTok, but I pick my own channels. It's basically LinkedIn and YouTube a little bit. But yeah,
Mm.
it's I'm actually looking at a lot of sites that haven't done well, and I'm trying to identify what are the patterns of sites that are kind of rising to the top. And YouTube seems to be a common answer. One thing I've noticed recently, I just wrote an article about how affiliate sites that have forums, the forum traffic has actually taken off. I mean, we've got Reddit in the corner over here, which is basically a forum, but sites that have their own forum, it just looks like the traffic's, it's not stopping. Are you seeing something similar?
Yeah, I think Glenn also published a case study of this big conglomerate, and then a lot of them was forum sites, which he just shut up. My friend of it who co-founded uh, Parasite SEO, Alex, he started doing a lot of forums just before we launched the tool, and he did really, really well with them. So it was just as simple as just uploading the forum plugin to the site and then just using an AI like comment generator to actually just do all fake threads and fake stuff, and he ranked really well with it. So forums is definitely a thing. Personally, I wouldn't put it on my main site just because I'm a bit risk averse with that, but it's definitely working.
But would you put it on your main site if you felt that it helped you, if it would help you become an authority, where you're not going to use like the AI tactics that could get the site penalized? Like you'd actually say, okay, we're going to do like a 1 year plan, hire a community manager, and put out the content map and saying this is what we're going to attack.
Yeah, I think it would definitely work. What I am actually testing now is more using Reddit and just creating my own subreddits. But doing it that way, you have a lot less control. So I probably would rather do the publish a forum on your website, just put a plugin in, and actually you just have to spend the time. That's it. That's the thing. You need to hire a manager or someone to actually look after it. So I helped work on a site a few years ago, and they uploaded a forum on their website, but they didn't have any spam filtering or anything like that. And it just got flooded with spam, and it tanked the site. So you got to be a little bit careful, and you have to be on top of it. So if you're willing to put the work in, you can definitely leverage it and get traffic from it.
Yeah, and it's definitely work. Like I said, okay, what am I going to do in my space? Like in my situation, my users are problem aware, but not solution aware. So I created a subreddit called affiliate software. And it's like without any effort, it just started ranking. So of course I did this in March when everyone was buzzing about Reddit, and it's slowed down a little bit, but it's still going. Like I'm not even trying, and it's still got a little bit of traffic. And sure enough, every time I look at iGaming subreddits, it's like they don't even look like they're trying, and they're still like, oh, this one has 200 monthly visitors, which is still worth money. And I think there's something there where it's you're right. It's don't do it for the sake of it without moderating it, but actually have a moderator.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. If you want to spend some time actually doing it, it can go a long way. So it's just a different skill to have, and just putting the time in, and then you can leverage that into niche sites because Google is favoring user generated content sites now. So you might as well take advantage of it.
Big time. And so the last question is I want to ask you, what do you see of the future of affiliate marketing as it intersects with business intelligence?
So AI is literally taking over. Like we've got so much AI in our tool as well. Like I kind of touched on before, these data driven tools is a big thing going forward. And for SEO and affiliate marketing, it only helps us. We can do research faster, like plan content, do outlines, do all that with very little minimal effort. And like one of the main things, like me as well, is tracking results and making sure like each page is getting clicks and which is working and which isn't, so you know where to focus. And I only can see that getting better and just basically evolving into something to help us out more. And it helps the user getting better content, as we touched on before.
Yeah, I like that answer because I mean, it's an answer that complements what we're trying to do in the background, which is like we're an app for affiliates, but we're also working on some research projects that have said, can we get some data to users that isn't available in the market? It's like, kind of like when you start asking questions like, well, what are the interesting parasites that focus on this topic? It's kind of like what you guys built. It's you start
Mm.
with analytics to get the answers, and then you basically have a customer willing to buy. And I think we're trying to do the same. And I think a lot of affiliates, they don't think that way. They're not like, hey, can I build a product? It's like, I think most of them are still thinking of the old way. It's like, I build content, I get my tracking links, and then that's how I make money. They're not thinking, how do I get one level up, which is product.
Yeah, definitely. Like with a lot of my sites now, even just I'm being putting mini tools on them, like calculators or well, stat pages I've always done, but calculators, and trying to put some maps on and just little bits like that, which just basically give you a little product, and it obviously helps draw in links as well.
Lots of little notes in there, but very useful. James, thanks so much for doing this. I want to pass it back to you to ask how people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was great. So you can find me well, you can join my newsletter at oliver.com/newsletter. That's the best way to stay in touch. And then you can check out parasiteseo.com, the tool for basically finding parasites and helping you with that. And before I go, a little tip as well, Friday is around the corner. So you want to make sure you're getting all your affiliate content and getting everything optimized. If it's updating or doing anything like that, it is the biggest time to make some money.
That is very true. I'm definitely going to be checking these things out. I'm a newsletter fan for SEO, so I'm definitely going to check this one out. And yeah, this new tool looks very interesting that's on the market, Parasite SEO.
You.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, mate. Cheers for that.
Thank you for tuning in to the Affiliate BI podcast. I'd like to take this time to ask for a small favor to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps us expand our reach to rank higher in podcast directories and reach more listeners.